No. At the moment, I'm continuing my work on improving the AI for the troll. In the last stream, we got um, the paths returning from the terrain service, allowing our troll to, well, allowing us to generate just the path for the troll. Today, I will be continuing work on that and getting the troll actually moving along that path. And hopefully, I'll get some time to actually start improving the pathfinding algorithm as well. You'll likely see the troll just clipping a bit on the terrain, and I'd like to get that looking a bit better and work towards getting trees and things back into the game and have the troll able to navigate around those. Uh, so I'll just check that everything appears to be connected. We seem to be connected on both Twitch and YouTube. So hello to anyone watching from Twitch or YouTube. Pulling up an example. Do I have any entities? I'm just going to see what state I have things in. Yes, I have a troll in the game. Well, we don't need a troll in the game, do we? But if I do a search for a path, it returns a path. Given 2 coordinates, it returns the path that it's going to pass through. I wanted to continue work on this on the stream rather than doing this work off stream. So off stream, I've actually been working on improving the entity client code a bit so that I don't need to repeat the massive blobs of JSON that we send through to the entity server just to update single values anymore. So that's been gradually happening in the background here, and hopefully I'll get to try that out today. I do appear to have some errors in my code as a result though, so I will need to sort those out. I'll do that right now, in fact. One of the things I did was I changed the integer type in protobuf to be a 64-bit integer, which should make it easier for me to distinguish integers from floats. So let's just get that in there. At the import. And we'll have similar issues in a few different places. Let's see, what do we do here? I'll change this to call out to my new code. I think is going to be update stop push. Entity client dot make an entity update. I need to give it the entity that we're updating and a list of components that I want to update at the same time. And in theory, that line there should be equivalent to all of this code. We'll find out. Now, one of the other things I'm going to need to do is actually give the troll a way of moving. And I figure for now, I might as well just do it as part of the aggressive behavior and have the troll move towards the player. So I won't make any changes to these attributes yet. I'll just have it as the default behavior. If the troll is aggressive to someone, but they're not within attack range, then it should move towards the player. Okay, so here is the aggressive code. Here's where it updates the aggressive state. If we have a target, here is where we attack. State dot So I'll only make it follow the player if the cooldown timer has expired. So if he swings and attacks, then he'll actually sit still for a bit. I have no idea what I want the behavior to be like here, but we're just trying to exercise this stuff anyway. To work out what the correct hello Northern Code and welcome back. So what we'll do here is I'll call out to the terrain service to ask for the pathing to happen. Do I have a terrain client? I do. I probably need to have an instance of that. Const terrain client is a new terrain client. There we go. Then come back to here. Okay, I might actually need to make a new client here because I think that this client will be referring to the sub URL of /chunks. So I will create a new client quickly. Entities. TS. Then I've got to remember what I normally make my clients look like. Yep, so I normally do them as a class. I keep on giving it the wrong name. Kai is the library I use for my HTTP requests. Then we can do our generate path function. And this just sits at the root. Oh, we do need a constructor, don't we? Yes. Then I need to configure the endpoint for that. It's currently sitting on the terrain service, so I can just go pathing is going to be that same thing, but it is going to be, what do we call it, path? I can't remember what I called it. Path route. Paths. There we go. Lots of control tabbing around here. Sorry, hope I'm not giving anyone nausea from all the control tabbing. So for anyone who's joined, I'm currently working on getting the troll to follow the paths that we generated in the last stream. This client dot get is we just go to the root URL. Then I need to give it the options. I'll copy these out of my command line. Going to look something like this. So we give it an origin, has a U, V, Q and an R. Might as well just copy and paste this one. JSON like that, I think I need to do. Okay, so this is going to call into the client. Doesn't like my return await because we might as well just return the promise directly. Then what can I do? Oh, I do need to do the return await. Hang on. Problem is this whole thing, I need to fetch the response out of this. It's going to do that. That looks better. Now I need to pass the actual parameters. And so we will take an origin coordinate and a destination coordinate. I'll ultimately have lots of other things in here, I'm sure, because we need to specify, how resilient to slopes it is and things like that. Now in here we do origin is going to be origin.uv.u, origin.uv.v, origin.qr. We'll do a Q and an R. Copy this whole lot. And then change all of these to destination. So that should now allow our troll code to call out to the, if it compiles, to call out to the pathing service. That is wrong. That's that. Perfect. So we need to pass the origin, which is going to be the we need a new coordinate given the I need a better way of converting these transforms and things, don't I? But so this will get a bit verbose for now. We need the entity, so that is, I think we just call it entity. Yes. Coordinate taking the entity dot transform dot chunk dot u, I think it is, transform chunk dot v, u axial coordinate. Oh, transform dot x dot q and transform dot hex dot r. So that, I think, is our origin. And then the destination is just going to be the same thing, but instead of the entity, it'll be the aggro target. Now, it is going to calculate this on every tick, which is fine for now. What is this is the aggro target's ID. Where is the actual aggro target entity? Did I call it? Just got to find the code where I reference the player. Is the agent entity the aggro target? Do we fetch the player up in here? Oh, it's under player, isn't it? Hold on. There's player IDs, and they come from players.map. Okay, so we do already have the players loaded. So I am going to put in here an aggro target entity, because we have already got them loaded, and this is going to be the players.filter. Players.find. Just find a player whose ID matches the aggro target. Now, this might not be defined if aggro target's not defined, but that's fine. Okay, where was I? In here. So here we have the aggro target entity. Aggro target entity. I'm going to assume that they're defined in this at this point, because we really shouldn't come into this unless we have an aggro target. So possibly undefined. Not sure how that could be undefined. I thought transform. Oh, transform doesn't have to be defined. So I'd need to put conditionals on all of this. Trunk does not exist on... None of this is meant to be transformed. This is all meant to be location. Anywhere we have transform, it needs to be location. There we go. Does that need to be set? Yes. So we do that. We then repeat the same thing with the aggro target entity. Location.hex. That location hex. Okay, so that should dispatch a request out to the pathing server, if I get my brackets right. Where's done here? That it doesn't like generate path doesn't exist on terrain client. That's correct. This is meant to be the pathing client. And then up the top, this should be a pathing client. My pathing client needs to get exported. Oops. Pathing client. And I have one more compiler by the looks of things. Pathing client. Okay. So in theory, this should now be generating a new path from the troll to the player on every tick. And I should be able to output this path. Let's do a const path to target. It's going to be equal to that. And then a log.info path to target. Target. I will need to turn down my frequency. It is quiet tonight, if man. And hello. Oh, it's starting to get a few more in. It usually takes a good sort of 10-15 minutes. I've been going 20 minutes almost. Yeah. It varies day to day. We usually get up to about 10 people in. and it peaks usually anywhere from 10 minutes to half an hour. So according to my analytics. But people are not very chatty. So I still don't have A* implemented, but the simple hex-based search, where it just does a straight line search, is working. Oh, my mic is quiet. Okay, give me a sec. I can try this. I don't want to go too much higher than that. Because yeah, it looks like I'm almost clipping on my side. So beyond this, I think you might need to turn your volume up. This is the volume it's normally at, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so that should log. I need to turn down my frequency because we do not want this running at 10 Hertz. We'll start with 1 Hertz and restart the server. Let's see how this goes. I'll get the entity server into debug mode because that's the one that I'm most likely to need to debug at this point. Okay, how do I debug this? Where's my rider window gone? I don't need my rider window, do I? Yeah, I do need my rider window. I need a player in the game, otherwise we won't get any aggressive target. Here comes the player. Okay, so he should be aggressive against us now. Is he facing us? He's not turning to face us, which means I suspect something is crashing. IntelliJ. I need the debugger, and sure enough, we're getting a crash. Request with gethead method. Oh, yes, this is easy. In the terrain client, the pathing client, we are doing a get. Client.get, this should be a dot post. Come down here, let it all restart. Is this the same error? Yes. It's meant to pick up changes and restart the server. I've obviously not configured that properly for dependent modules. I'm just going to get rid of some of these windows in case I have sensitive stuff in them. Back in here, and what have we got? Here we go, we're getting a path back out. So we can see here that the troll wants to move through these coordinates, and we can see that he is varying his height a bit. So this is looking pretty good. If I move the player a little further away, I want to give him a slightly interesting path. So maybe we can get him to go up and then down like this. And he is turning to face us. We should see his path get longer. And where is it? Path. Oh, all the way down. We're scrolling. Here we go. And we should see the Y value increase. So 18, yep, it's going up, it's going up, it's going up. And then it goes down again because he's trying to go over a hill at this point. So this is looking pretty good. So next, let's get him moving along this path. Now, you'll notice this is, it's just silly calculating this path on every single tick because he's only ever going to move a very short distance on any given tick. And then he's going to go and regenerate the rest of it. But all I'm trying to do here is just test out this code. And then we can start improving kind of the planning nature of it. So once he's worked out what path he's going to follow, he doesn't need to recalculate it if the player doesn't move, for example. So he can do the plan, store it as a component somewhere, and refer to that on each tick and have him move along that on each tick. without having to replan if the target he's moving to isn't changing. Okay. So, how do I get him to move? I guess we just change his transform. I hope it's that simple. Entity dot transform dot position. Well, what I could do, rather than worrying about kind of doing all the linear interpolation along this path, is I could just make him step along this path. Given our frequency is only 1 hertz at the moment, he'll move basically a hex tile per second. I'm sure that'll be particularly scary because I think that's faster than we can run. But what if I do entity.location dot transform dot position can be equal to, what am I doing here? Entity.location. I need to totally change his location. We need to set this to the next item in the paths. So let's go path to target, 0. What do these actually look like? These come back as, we've got our distance, we've got our path. So path to target dot path. And then this is an array. So we want to take the first item in that path. Const next location is going to be equal to that. So location dot chunk, which is going to be the next location dot chunk, and the hex is going to be next location dot hex. What do our y coordinates look like on those? They look like they've got the y value initialized to 0, which isn't ideal, but we're not using them yet anyway. Location.y. I also need to set the entity transform position to be, let's go const next position is path to target dot points 0. Object is of type unknown. I'll just say it's an any for now. Entity position is going to be equal to the next position. Okay. Oh, he's already attacking me. Something worked. And then it stopped working. What is happening here? I'm going to re-put the troll into the game, just so that we can get a consistent view of everything. For anyone who missed the last stream, putting trolls into the game is now a lot simpler. I don't have to put that massive thing of JSON in anymore. I just call a special prefab endpoint and tell it where to place the troll. Did I have to define transform vector3 position, etc. in TypeScript? Yes. I have all of those defined. I may not have done it in TypeScript, actually. I think I did it in, oh, here we go, he's moving. He's off the ground, unfortunately, but I think I did it in Protobuf, and then the Protobuf compiler has gone and created the TypeScript types for me. I'll show you those in just a moment. All right, so the troll is unfortunately off the ground. Definitely not what I wanted. And you can see him zigzagging. That's as he moves between the center points. It's interesting that he stops after he's attacked. Oh, it's because he's got on a cooldown. He's on a cooldown timer. Maybe? All right, so I will show you that code. So yes, I had to define vector3 and all my chunk coordinate types. I think I do it in my protobuf definition. Let's go take a look. Protobuf. So you can see I define a transform here, which is of type vector3, and then vector3 just has an x, y, z. You can see I've got my hex coordinates here. And that all gets converted into TypeScript automatically. So in here, I've got a vector. Oh, I also have my own vector3 class. So it really depends on where the code's being used. But yes, we do have a vector3 class that I've defined myself. This is like a top level thing where I can add them and subtract them and things like that. But then when things are going out to a server, I use a protobuf typed one. I don't set the y to a constant value. That's coming out of the pathing service. You can see here. So here's an example path. And you can see that it's getting a y value here. It's 19. And then it comes down to 18.3. And then 18.0. So this is actually pulling these values from the terrain. So most likely, I think that I probably have my troll. I've probably at some point needed to insert an offset on my troll just to get stuff working or looking right in my videos. Let's just have a look at what the prefab for the troll looks like. Infinity PBR, prefabs. I think I load the troll from here. I can't remember how to edit the troll. Because it's going to be his offset. Yeah, so I think that he's basically got a point. His root up here has it has no position, but then the ogre root in here. Oh, I was kind of expecting that to have a pivot point, as in yeah. There's a setting somewhere for the pivot point, isn't there? Hold on just 1 second. I'm just going to get out of here. I just want to get into the prefab editor. I just can't remember how to get in there. Because that will let me check where the pivot point is and things like that. I really, scene. Why won't this go into scene? Here we go. So here is the troll. He seems to have his origin down at his feet, so that's correct. Double click the prefab. Yeah, so he is loaded now, yes. Yeah, sorry, I forget sometimes that there's a lag in our messages. So he seems to be rooted in the correct spot. So then the question is he being placed at the correct spot in the game? Now, he probably won't chase us now because we've probably still got the old player in the game. Yep, he's sitting there attacking the other player, I think. Is he? Nope. He's turning towards us now. So if we look at the scene, get out of the troll. Oh, this is so slow. Here we go. Come down here, and he is most definitely getting placed too high in the world, isn't he? World. I don't even know where I place things like trolls. Is there a remote player ground controls game? Remote, here he is. So yes, he's getting placed, I would guess, exactly a meter above the ground. What would the reason be for that? Is our terrain getting placed in the right spot? World. Here we go. We've got this chunk here. And this is at Y0, which is correct. Because the mesh gets generated up in the, well, up in the air, kind of. So I reckon I have an off by 1 error in probably my placement code, I'd guess. And I have seen this as well before. If I leave the game and then come back in, my old player will still be in. And I have a feeling my player is also a meter off the ground. So I wonder if I've got an offset in one of these things. Game is 0, although the player is over here. It's like all my remotes are a full meter off the ground. What have I done wrong? So I should work out if this is a problem in the server or a problem in the client, and that's easy to find out. All I've got to do is select a remote. What's with this lag? He's about to chase us, I think. So whatever I have selected at the moment is the troll. Blame the metric system, yes. And the Y coordinate is 21 for the troll at the moment. So let's see what the server says it is. Pull out the entities, look up the troll. Where's the troll? Here's the troll. And his position is at Y20. And here he's Y21. Why on earth have I done that? Or how have I done that, more to the point? Okay, I'm going to, because Unity is being all laggy, I'm actually going to quickly restart Unity and try and work out where that 1 meter offset could be coming from. It seems like the kind of thing I would have added intentionally just to work around some sort of a discrepancy. In the Hoxel system, the terrain for block 0 sits 1 meter off the base of the world. So it's completely plausible that I would go and inject a +1 just to try and get things to line up with the terrain. So this is going to be in my remote code. I think the server manager is responsible for processing the incoming messages. On UDP receive, that comes in here. And where does it call my see ticks? Begin receive. I've got like an on message receive somewhere. State change. I've totally forgotten how all my code works. Here we go. On message received, if there is a transform attached, then create the entity if we need to, and then convert the position. Here we go, +1. This is why you shouldn't just put +1s in your code. Okay, let's get this one in. And I don't know why he just swung, but is he going to run at us? No, at least he's in the right spot now. Yeah, when things look like they're off by 1, you just got to... sometimes I should just search my code for +1. Why is he not chasing us now? Is he aggro to us? Yes, he's aggro to us because he's turning towards us, but he is not pathing to us. Let's find out why not. Now he's perfect. Yeah, it's kind of nice seeing him sit on the ground like that. I'd love to see him move around a bit more and see him standing on a slope. So we're not seeing the paths come out. That's not a good sign. I suspect that something has crashed. Or did we never have any... Nope. Okay. Where's my aggro agent? I'll just get a breakpoint in here. Stop the server. I need to go to the ticker service. Ticker. Stop everything. Run that. I don't think the attack animation should be playing. It's not set to play on start. No. I'm using an animation controller, and the initial state is locomotion, I think it is. And that includes idle. The idle for the troll is bundled into the locomotion state. So I have a feeling this is just he's seeing the wrong aggro target or something as we come into the game, or a client action component could be getting stuck on the troll, so that as we come in, we see the client action component and we go and play the animation. In fact, that's exactly what it's going to be. There's going to be a stale client action component. If we go and look at him now, what does he have on him? Yeah, he's got this client action component. And so I can see what the issue is here. I'm storing this. This is a change I've just made where, yes, I now store integers as longs. So this is also going to be what's stopping him from moving again after he's attacked us, because after he attacks us, he sets this cooldown timer. This is meant to be just a number on here, but for some reason I'm storing it as the full long class. And then that's going to be completely crashing all my code. Or at least preventing it from realizing that we've passed the expiry time. So I've just got to work out why this is getting set the way it is. I think that it's going to be in my entity code. Entity controller, when we pull out the integer values, I need to actually convert them back to strings, probably. Because we can't store longs reliably as numbers in JavaScript. Is that right? Or is it just as it comes back? Well, it's going to be in the entity controller regardless, because this response here is coming out of the entity controller. This cooldown timer, I expect to be a number, probably a string, in fact. This should be displayed as a string when sent through to the client. So, I need to think about this, because I don't want all my code to worry about converting from strings. So I think that my first thing to do is I've got a function called toDTO, which is where it converts it for display in these endpoints. And this needs to detect longs. And when it finds a long, it needs to convert it to a string, so that in this view, we get a string back for these potentially very large numbers that can't be represented by JavaScript. So in here we say, hey, if it's an ID, then convert it. Else if v instance of long, then return a comma v dot, let's just get that imported, add an import statement, v dot, is there a toString? Yep. Now that should at least fix it from the endpoint side of things, I think. Let's try it. We should start to see those come through as strings. But that is then going to break it for the client. What have we got? What state? Oh, what have I just done? Okay. What state are we in at the moment? It's still passing these through. All right. I wonder what it looks like in the database itself. If I put a breakpoint in toDTO, I clear out to make sure my client is out, because I don't want any players in the game here. I will delete all the entities. I'll put a troll back in, and then I'll fetch it. Now, in here, if I run this in the debugger, I should be able to see the actual entity coming out of the database, ready to be prepared to go back to the client. Oh, I did delete? No, I didn't. JQ, do that. Well, we've got nothing in there, so yep, let's put the troll back in. I'll let this continue through, but then I'm going to go and fetch it back out of the database. Here it is. Here he is coming out of the database. It's coming from the ticker service, but this will do. So our entity has a document. So this is just Mongo stuff at this point. His components have we have 3 components, including a mob component. Well, that has no numbers on it. We have an agent component. This will have numbers in it because we have, it's an example here, just so I make sure I'm looking at the right thing. So we have all of these numbers, although we know that they're okay. This is a pain to debug, because I bet you this is just going to work. No, we're crashing. This is a good sign. Try it again. Stop. Run. No breakpoints. I'll just fetch it back out. I think all the numbers will come out absolutely fine. unless everything's just crashed. It's all stopped. Start that. And then fetch. This all comes back with numbers attached, but this isn't coming in through the update API. So what I need to do next is get him to become aggro, which I can do by connecting a client. Oh, he does something weird there, so I need to sort that out. I don't think this is going to work. He's going to attack us once, and then he's not going to attack us anymore. Oh, wait, maybe? Yeah, so, and it's still this same issue. If I pull out this entity again, he's still going to have an invalid cooldown on him. And here it is. Well, this isn't the cooldown, that's the expiry. So the reason he's not pathfinding after he's attacked us and not attacking us is because he's got this cooldown timer on him, and we're not interpreting this properly, so we're not expiring this timer. So that stops him from pathfinding, stops him from attacking again. The reason we hear the sword swing every time we go into the game is because we have this client action telling the client to swing the sword, but again, we can't interpret this expiry, so it's never expiring. I think the easiest way to fix this, I'm going to need to put a comment on there because it's a bit dodgy, is to change the client code to interpret these structures as longs, and then we should just be able to treat them as numbers after that. It's not ideal because I do want to be able to debug this fairly easily from the endpoints, and I can't really do that from, like, I can't interpret these values very easily. So let's just do the hacky version for now. When we pull out the values, I'll just detect that they look like longs and convert them to longs. Now, let's get a bit more space here. Where do we pull this stuff out? We've got the agent state. So we're using the cooldown timer here. And then, where does this come from? Agent state. Oh, this is just going to be a... Hi, Griffith, welcome. Welcome back. I'm currently getting the troll to follow the path, which he's doing well, but I've got a bug in some code that I changed yesterday afternoon to try and simplify the way that integers versus strings are stored and transmitted between the services. But it means that I'm now storing numbers as longs, and they're not being interpreted everywhere correctly. So I need to detect the long values coming through and treat them as numbers for now. It's going to be hacky, but it'll work. Missing agent state. So we get the component. When we get a component, it does this. Into the entity client. I seem to be coming back to this DTO function. When we get components containing attributes that look like longs, I need to convert them. All right. I'm going to do it on the server. I can't do this code that I had, which is testing if it's an instance of long. What I can do, this is hacky. I'm even going to put the comment in now. To do hack detect longs properly and think about how to transfer them. Yeah, he does look like he's staggering. The funny thing is, if I turn the frequency up, it'll look less like he's staggering, but he'll be like one of those. It'll be like something out of a horror movie. He'll just charge at us at an incredible rate. Okay, to do hack detect longs properly, and so in here, all I'm going to do is say if v dot high not equal to no type. It's type of, isn't it? Oh no, v dot high not equal to undefined, v dot low not equal to undefined. Then we're just going to create a new long here. And then I think I can just pass the high, the low. Oops, what have I just done? There we go. Yep, I can pass it the low, pass it the high, and pass it the unsigned. Just look at what's actually coming out. Pass it the low, pass it the high, pass it the unsigned. Long v dot low, v dot high, v dot unsigned. Dodgy. Okay. Is this actually going to run? Let's pull. What was that? Is my server not running? Okay, so here's an example of it coming in and detecting a long. This is a cooldown timer, and it looks like we will actually return a long out of here. And then if we look at what comes out, oh, it really doesn't like that. Literal. I am just gonna. This is all so hot hacky. Oh, yep, he's having a go at us. Something's working. Now, he shouldn't be allowed to attack that fast, so there is something wrong with our cooldown timer code. Let's invalid numerical literal. Oh, status 500. That would do it. Just going to stop this, restart it, just to make sure I'm on the latest version. We're getting our 500. So what's actually crashing? Here we go. If v.high, this is going to be something silly. Cannot read property of null. Yeah, fair enough. Question mark. Oops, not question mark there. It's a question mark up here. Question mark here. He will attack as fast as he wants, apparently, but he shouldn't. He's not allowed to. He's only meant to attack once every 3 seconds. And the cool thing is I can change that just by changing the the YAML here. So I can change his attack cooldown to a different value here. And anytime I create a troll after that, it will have the new cooldown. What's gone wrong here? That crashed, did it? Okay. Come in here. We grab a look at that. And what does he look like? Ah, stop it, troll. Oh, there's another player. All right, he's gonna... Oh, what? Here he comes. Okay. So this seems to be working-ish. We've still got the problem with the cooldown timer. Where is he? I've lost him. Okay. I'll just close that so I don't have to put up with the noise. I guess I could have muted my speakers. But let's just see what state he is in. Agent state. He has a cooldown timer. So why is he attacking so fast? And why has he not expired? Well, he might have expired. What's his value? It ends in 9181. Do this. Okay, that looks good. This value, his aggro target ends in 9195. Okay, so stuff is getting updated. But we're obviously not comparing these values correctly. So I will take a look at the actual aggro code, I guess. Because he is not... He should be failing this test. He should only be able to attack if there is no cooldown timer. And the cooldown timer gets cleared out elsewhere. So he's obviously getting his cooldown timer cleared out in this piece of code here. Which can only happen if we have a cooldown timer and the cooldown timer value is less than the current. So let's get a breakpoint in there. I'll get the terrain service. Oh, I didn't mean to run that without debugger. Let's stop. Debugger. Disable that breakpoint. We'll get him to attack, and then I'll check what's happening in this piece of code. Here he comes. Okay, I'll mute my sound and re-enable that breakpoint. What? Oh, terrain. I don't want to do the terrain. I want a ticker. Stop. Run this. Okay, and my server just crashed. This is that classic problem that I get whenever I hit a breakpoint too early after boot up. I really need to look into what's causing that. Something in my environment. It might be like the version of Node I'm using inside Docker, so I might need to update something. Okay, so we breakpoint in here. Nope, crashed again. Stop. Play. Oh, it's crashing on startup. Is that? One more try. Stop the server. Start the server. That looks better. Hit the breakpoint and crashed. Oh, what's it doing? Invalid pointer. That's definitely not my fault. Try breakpointing on a different line or something. I don't know. I'm sure the server is fully up. It is definitely up. Our ticker service is running. Put a breakpoint in here and it crashed. Oh, this is frustrating. Don't know what I meant to do without a debugger. Let's just, I'll completely bring down my Docker stack. Docker compose down and try bringing that back up. While that's happening, I'll restart IntelliJ. Validate caches, just restart. I've lost my, I saw a chat message come in, just lost it. There it is. That's definitely not my fault, said every programmer ever. Yeah. What do they say? A good developer blames their tools or something? Tip of the day. I don't need a tip of the day at the moment. I'm sure that's what they said. A good developer blames their tools. Yeah, and pointers blur. Yeah, that's the reason I am that I don't mind blaming the tools here. I mean, if you're getting problems freeing pointers in TypeScript, then I find it pretty hard to believe that that is going to be my problem. All right, it's going to be a version of a library or something I'm using, but hopefully this has fixed it to some extent. Oh, I didn't mean to. Okay, that is all coming down, is it? Is it coming down? Ah, what have I done? Stop. Stop. Play. Let's see. That's running. Is our client in? Maybe. Oh, no, he won't be because all these entities will be stale because I just completely brought down the server stack. I don't detect in the client when entities disappear yet, so it happily just sits there showing the existing entities doing whatever they were doing before. So I'll add a troll back in. Where are we? We are generating a path. I need to actually get him to attack the player so that we can get a cooldown timer on. And I've got to fix that thing where the troll starts embedded in the ground too. And now he's not pathfinding. Oh, this isn't fair. Is he going to attack us at least? Something is unhappy. I really don't want to have to update, like play around with versions of Node or anything like that. All right, here he is. He's now attacking us and chasing us and doing all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, he needs a +1 on the Y. Yeah. For anyone who wasn't here, I had a +1 on my Y coordinate, was causing all the entities to hover a meter above the ground. I'd say that I put it in to fix whatever that bug was causing him to be embedded in the ground there, but I applied it in too many different places. Okay, so if I now get a breakpoint in here, please don't crash. Oh, it crashed. Okay. Time for me to actually work out what's going on here. I can't remember how to get Docker to repull images. Docker compose. Let's just have a look at how I configure things. I need my Docker file. Node latest. I should probably be using a specific version there. I'll just get rid of that. I don't know what else is on there. Docker, node, image. I'll just see what versions we have. And I might just try overriding this, getting it to set it to a specific version. What version of Node am I running locally? 16.16.0. I mean, is it just... I just take... Yeah, my breakpoints are being a bit literal, aren't they? I'd rather they didn't actually break stuff. Where's the... Okay, I'll just set it to 16.16. Dot... I don't know, can I just set it to that? And then I probably need to do like a Docker pull. Help if I spell it properly. Do I need to do a Docker? No, it should just be a Docker pull. No, Docker compose. I probably shouldn't have had the server running while I was doing this, should I? Come on. I will bring the whole stack down, make sure everything is pulled. Nope, not everything was pulled. Yep, everything was pulled. Docker compose, I think it's build, to get it, just make sure that all of the images are up to date. IntelliJ will normally do this for me. Okay, then I will bring it back up. Oh, that doesn't look good. I've completely broken everything. What doesn't it like? It doesn't like... Doesn't help I can't see where I'm calling into... session route. Session route line 32. I don't know why session route would be calling into Kai. Line 32. Session controller dot create session. Maybe it's just no, it's not a yarn issue. I've broken stuff. Process Okay, create session. Here we go. And then it's coming into the entity client. Entity client 106. Oh, right. Let's see what Stack Overflow can do for us. Not Stack Overflow. All right. Reproduce like this. I'm not doing stuff with headers, but I presume that's happening under the covers. Yeah, this is a bit of a worry. Does look like it's something with the version of Node that I'm using. All right, Stack Overflow. An imported Node fetch package. Is it as simple as that? CD common base. No, sorry, we're in the session. Yeah, base service. I should be able to just do a yarn add. Which one was it? Node fetch. Okay, how's this looking? Cd dot docker compose up. All right. Problem is, I was using a dynamic tag on my Docker image, which means that it's really hard for me to get back to where things were. I mean, I could move to node 18, which is probably where I was before, but I'm probably going to get a different version. Docker node 18 Alpine. I think that was valid, wasn't it? 18 Alpine. All right, I'm just going to have to pull these. Oh, we are on the latest already. We were on the latest. Well, this is a pain to debug. I might have to find another way of not using the debugger. Bring it back up. Hopefully it runs now. If this is still broken, then I'm going to be really cranky. Oh, no. No. Okay. Just get a git commit in here just to, Kai is broken just so that I have a point in the sand. Then I'm going to do it. I'm just going to get rid of any node modules directories. come back in here, run yarn, get it to download everything again. Yarn workspaces install. Okay, I think that is. No, command can't do install. Yeah, because you just normally do yarn, don't you? Okay. Docker compose up. Okay, next question. Is it something I've broken just very recently? I'll just come back a little bit. All right, thanks for joining us, Griffic. Yeah, hopefully I can get this solved reasonably quickly. Not the kind of thing I enjoy working on, but yeah, so sleep well. Okay, we'll run yarn again. And then try to bring it up. Hopefully this is something I've just broken in the last, like, few seconds. No! um, yeah, so that's why I did the commit. And then, so I don't have any pending commits. So I've just done a rollback to how the code was first thing this morning. And we're still getting exactly the same problem. So, unfortunately, my Docker not my Docker Compose file, my file is using node latest. So I normally never do this, and the reason is that I could be pulling in any version at the moment, and it's really hard for me to work out exactly what version of Node I was running this morning. But this has been it was working this morning, it's been working throughout the morning. And I currently have no pending. Oh, hang on, I didn't get status. Yeah, I've got nothing currently pending. Oh, you're in Australia as well, are you, Graphic? So, um, what I might try, I mean, I could try actually debugging the data I'm using go bad. No, because I've done a Docker Compose down. So that will actually destroy the persistent storage from all of my instances. Um, so I don't believe that there should be any state hanging around at all. Um, other than, unfortunately, this tag just here. I think my best bet is to actually work out what is going wrong with Kai. It seems like there's a few different things. It seems like it's something to do with the way it calls into fetch within Node. But if I open this file in IntelliJ, I should be able to breakpoint. I should be able to if I can get it to open. All right, how do I get in there? Entity client. I presume it's just having troubles finding fetch, and it's probably something that's changed in the very latest versions of Node. And I just need to work out how to get Kai to see fetch. So entity client 56, line 56. And then we come in here Um, I think I should be able to do just step in here. Okay, let's do which service is breaking. Sessions is breaking. Oh, there's another question. Is it only sessions that's breaking? No, it's everything is breaking. So if I come back here into anything that uses the entity client, so the ticker service uses the entity client, I should be able to hit a breakpoint. Maybe. Is this coming up? What's it doing? Nope, something is... It's not even passing health checks. Oh, this is frustrating. Just get another Docker Compose down. Let IntelliJ configure the containers. I don't think this is working. Nope. Okay, so the next thing I can try, I'm very much running out of ideas, but I can just try different versions of Docker. This is not ideal. Oh, did I do a Docker rebuild after I rolled that change back? Docker compose build, Docker compose up. Aha, that's slightly better. Tick frequency's back to 10 because of my rollback. Okay. Next question is, because I really don't want that on latest, if I Docker checkout master, not Docker, Git checkout master, status, this is all good. Yep, install all the dependencies. And then in my Docker file, I'm going to set that to the actual latest. Oh, no, but I don't want current anything. I don't want... yeah, I'll just try 18 Alpine again. Come back in here, bring everything down. Then I'll do a Docker pull. Docker compose pull. And then a rebuild. I think this will be a lot happier. Whether or not I can debug is another question. But at least I've fixed this. I appear to have fixed the weird Kai issue. Okay. Then run this in the debugger. Fingers crossed. Not looking promising. This should have started by now. Bring it down, just confirm that it is the same issue. Oh, this is looking really good. Why can I not even start this? All right, so I'll just try bouncing it one more time. And if I can't make any progress here, then I might have to try sorting this out off stream, because this is not the most interesting content, and B, I might need to actually be able to think this through properly. Is this all up? Can we get our entities? Yes, we can get entities. Last try. Nope. Is there anything else I can try here? I mean, I could try recreating this run configuration. What are we doing? We're trying to do ticker. If I do a minus on that, and then recreate a new one of these, Docker configuration file plus that services. Service, we're trying to fix the ticker service. Let me say okay. I can't see why this would improve things at all. Okay. Can we even run it without the debugger? What state was that in? I don't know what the state that was in. Just make sure it's down. Bring it up. Yeah, this is not coming up. All right, so I'm going to go off and debug my development environment. Hopefully, get things to a point where I can set breakpoints and things again. Well, get it running would be nice. And I do intend to stream again tomorrow, same time. I will continue off stream, not to make progress on the pathfinding. I'll focus on improving the way that I pass updates through to the entity server, just so that I can further simplify all of this code a bit more. So I'll continue working on the pathfinding on stream from tomorrow. So thank you everyone for joining in. Feel free to check out any other devlog episodes. Not many people have seen the last devlog, so if you know anyone who might like it, then feel free to share it with them. Until next time, I'll catch you around.